Imagine waking up thousands of years ago. You log on, and kings can communicate in seconds across vast empires. But would this technology create a better world or repeat mistakes faster? For most of history, geography was the absolute limit on human progress. A thought, a law, or an invention could only travel as fast as the physical body carrying it. The pinnacle of ancient logistics looked like this. Cyrus the Great of Persia built a massive relay-based postal system driven by horses. It allowed centralized powers to coordinate across thousands of miles, but it still took weeks for a single dispatch to cross the empire. Beyond the imperial dirt roads, moving information across the sea meant relying entirely on the weather and tools like celestial navigation. Ships loaded with trade data and letters were at the mercy of unpredictable winds. Human potential remained entirely bottlenecked by the physical speed of a galloping horse or a wooden hull. Then, the global network goes live. Instantly, the vacuum of ancient isolation collapses. This chart shows the time disparity between traditional physical travel and digital connection. A merchant in Rome no longer waits 3 months for a physical ship to return from Egypt. They verify current grain prices in Alexandria via instantaneous transmission. Ancient rulers experience an immediate administrative shock. Instead of waiting for the seasons to turn to receive updates from frontier borders, they manage military and political dispatches in real time. The death of distance drops the friction of time and space to zero, triggering a massive acceleration of civilization. Ancient society would quickly adopt the social features of this network. Rulers might log on to announce edicts, but they would inevitably obsess over tracking their public adoration metrics. Figures like Cleopatra would cultivate public influencer personas online. By crafting a highly controlled digital image, ancient elites could exert power over foreign populations without ever sending a physical envoy. The physical town squares empty out as philosophers migrate their debates onto massive, deeply chaotic digital threads open to thousands of citizens at once. The medium of communication evolves instantly, yet the human craving for attention, status, and validation remains identical. The Library of Alexandria sheds its physical constraints. Instead of a single building vulnerable to fire, it becomes the world's first decentralized global server. Scholars working in total isolation suddenly have peers. Greek astronomers and Indian mathematicians begin collaborating on complex planetary models and numeric systems simultaneously. Ancient texts are archived on a unified network. Translators across the Mediterranean digitize these findings. Global indexing means locating a highly specific philosophical treatise takes seconds instead of a lifetime of copying by hand. This frictionless access removes the centuries of delay between discovery and application. When scientific progress no longer resets with every fire or war, knowledge compounds at a rate previously impossible for a biological species. To keep up with the speed of data, digital connectivity forces ancient physical infrastructure to adapt immediately. The Silk Road transitions from a perilous, unpredictable multi-year trek into a synchronized, hyper-efficient supply chain. Merchants coordinate logistics, way stations, and inventory in advance. Instant translation and daily exposure begin to blur rigid geographical borders. Citizens who once viewed distant empires as mythical begin sharing language, culture, and commerce. The ancient internet effectively shrinks the geography of the Earth, unifying a highly fragmented world into a single interconnected ecosystem. Let the exact same network that democratizes ancient knowledge also acts as the ultimate weapon for surveillance and control. Empires no longer rely on slow physical couriers to deliver orders. Generals use instant networks to coordinate massive, synchronized military strikes across different fronts. Emperors utilize the network to deploy state propaganda directly. They reach the minds of every citizen simultaneously, bypassing the need for physical heralds. Instantaneous communication centralizes authoritarian power just as effectively as it spreads enlightenment. A digital network cannot patch or update deep-rooted human flaws. Ancient misinformation becomes an existential threat. Digital tribalism takes root, and the coordinated censorship of rival philosophers begins to tear empires apart from the inside. This map illustrates the compounding danger of speed. A false rumor about a famine or a dead emperor spreads outward geometrically, causing a massive market collapse before the truth, shown here in blue, has time to be verified. Technology drastically accelerates the speed of human communication, but it entirely bypasses the wisdom required to govern it. Projecting this alternate timeline forward from antiquity to the present day, we face a stark reality. With a 2,000-year head start on the information age, would we be an interstellar species today, or would we have accelerated our own destruction? Wiring the ancient world would merge every disparate tribe into a single global consciousness. We must consider if we were ever ready for that level of transparency. Our ancestors might have reached the stars, but they would have carried our oldest, most destructive flaws with them. In the end, the network is merely a mirror, reflecting our capacity for both infinite wisdom and total collapse.